Good morning. I'm Ashley Apparocho, and you're watching Coffee with Catechists. Today in the studio, joining us, is Micky Anderson. Thank you so much, Micky, for taking the time to be here today.
You're welcome.
Would you be able to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am Mrs. Micky Anderson. I attend the parish of Holy Spirit RC. I am a catechist there. I have been in this ministry for over 30 years, actually. I was teaching under a bottom house, as we would say, before the church was built in 1985. And then I broke the ministry a bit when I went abroad, Botswana. But on my return, I began again to teach. I really like teaching children because I love children.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you have a lot of experience then in teaching catechism. What got you started in teaching?
Sister Claudette Jones invited me to, join her in teaching these little children. So my task then was to prepare children for the First Communion, the sacrament of First Communion. And it was on her bottom house in Tocqueville, because Holy Spirit RC Church, we're in North Ramville, and I was living in Tocqueville.
So, because you have been teaching for over 30 years now, how would you say your teaching has developed over the 30 years?
Well, I would say we have really developed, progressed nicely, because at first we were just instructing, question and answer, reading, and so on. But now we have expanded. We have games, games, there are puzzles, we have skits, and all of that. So it has developed over the years. And then the materials we get from the internet, so we are using technology, modern technology also. So when we need a little more on the materials that we have, that, has been given to us by the Religious Education Department, we can get more and, further things from the internet. So I would say, yes, we have grown from strength to strength.
Since you've been able to witness to the development of the youth, so seen batches of youth go through catechism programs, how would you say that youths have changed, or have they, throughout the 30 years that you've been teaching catechism?
Well, they have changed and they have developed, because you can see them participating on a great lot in church. They read, they too, some of them have become catechists, which is so nice, because we are getting older and older, so we will have replacements,
Do you have, at Holy Spirit Parish, do you have a very active youth group, or?
We do at Holy Spirit have a very active. They are readers, they are coordinators, they also help the homeless, they visit homes, they put on programs themselves, because we encourage them to develop programs like during Easter, and when Christmas time we have the pageant, they do the training of the younger folk.
What do you think then attributes to the development of the young people at Holy Spirit? Because I know that at some other parishes here in the diocese, the youth groups aren't as vibrant or as well attended or as cohesive as some. What do you think has helped Holy Spirit Parish?
Yeah, I mean, I may say so, even if I may say so, I think we have real wonderful and committed, dedicated catechists. And we're friends of these young people. You know, it's not just teacher, pupil or so. So we chat with them and we call them and say, you know, I would like you to do X, Y, Z. Would you mind doing it? And, you know, we're friends, not just not just teacher and pupil, you know. We're friends. So I think that, and there are 9 of us, and the head of us, Mrs. Barbara Stevens, you know, she's really popular with the young people, you know. So we're all there working together for the good of the young people.
So what would you say is your biggest struggle so far as being a catechist?
My biggest struggle is because I'm so involved in so many other things. I cannot go along with them 100%, you know. But whenever I can, we meet. Not whenever I can, most of the time we meet. But you know, like extracurricular activities, I cannot do much of that. Because when the young people visit the homes, I would have liked to go. But sometimes it's not all possible.
Do you see any ways that the diocese could help support catechists further?
I would want to think, yes, maybe some of the leaders could visit the churches, the parishes, and meet with these very young people and help to give them further encouragement so that these young people wouldn't think that their training ends at the church. You know, other persons of significance can, you know, encourage them, talk with them, and so. That's how I think. So we need to see them visiting, and whenever they can, maybe provide some materials, you know, that kind of thing, and offer them. The diocese can offer maybe a few more retreats.
You mentioned materials. What kind of materials would you say you're looking for?
Computer, this is the age of computerization, right? Computers. So maybe if we could get a few computers, yes. Some chalkboards, yes. You know.
And how would that help further develop or help the catechism program at Holy Spirit?
Because we don't just want to teach, you know, one-to-one or the teacher and the group, but we try to encourage research so that if they're told, because, you know, we just spend 1 hour, 1.5 hours, so we could have little groups, small groups, and then they could go to the computer and get further information. You know, so the computer would help.
Do you think that the hour and a half is sufficient for teaching catechism on Sundays?
Maybe it's not enough, but then it is what's available, because we have our Sunday school class, catechism class, after Mass, and Mass maybe it's from 8 to 9:30. And we go to from 9:30 to 10:30, quarter to 11. And, you know, hunger might be a problem. You know, having been in church since 8 o'clock, there might be some problem there. But it's unfortunate. It's not like years ago when during the week we had classes, but now most times I guess in the whole pastoral area, we have catechism on Sundays.
So what changed then? If you used to have catechism classes on the weekdays and that worked well for the parish, why did you switch over to just having it on Sundays?
Well, years ago, then the churches ran the schools.
Oh, okay.
You know, and what we did, for example, at Fatima RC School, there was a Fatima RC School in Regent Street, that every Tuesday we went to the Fatima Church to have catechism, you know, from 9 to 10 or thereabout.
So then, why did it stop happening? Why did the
Because we now
classes?
government, the schools are now government, and they don't have that in their curriculum.
Oh, okay. So it was because the schools were offering the classes that people used to come.
The church, yes,
Okay.
through the church, the Catholic Church.
Do you think that it would be helpful to start running those classes on weekdays again?
Well, it depends on the agenda of the ruling government, you know, what they would emphasize, the Ministry of Education, you know.
But could you see Holy Spirit Parish benefiting from that, or do you think it would be too much or too busy for some people?
I think the whole arrangement has changed because quite a few students are attending lessons in the afternoons, so that would be an obstacle.
Oh,
know.
okay.
So even though, yes, we may say they have more hours, more contact hours, then the programs, these children, they go to lessons for CXC or Common Entrance. So it might not be too, you know, accommodating or what.
So then how do you make the most out of your hour and a half on Sundays for catechism classes?
Well, we have workbooks. We've got workbooks from the religious department, and you would read whatever it is, and so you have references like the Bible, or if I can, or the teachers can get additional material in terms of, it could be a poem, it could be prayer, it could be verses from the Bible. Right? And so we encourage them too, in addition to the standard prayers like the Our Father and Hail Mary, they too can write their little prayers and share their prayers among the colleagues or peers in the group. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds very nice.
And what I have found, they like games, you know, like word search, or find as many small words as you can from a big word. They like that.
So having taught catechism for over 30 years now, is there any advice that you would give to yourself and to other catechists who are just starting out when you first joined?
Well, I would think that the first thing, I always say, you have to love children. You have to have patience. And you need to go beyond what you are teaching, you know. So if, for example, there's something, a paragraph on baptism, you need to read a little more. And as we said nowadays, we can go to the internet, or we get little Catholics have magazines and so on. So you need to read, the catechist needs to read, needs to do research, right? And just look for different methods, you know, to teach. Because not just a talking thing, as I said, I find them very keen, my group, very keen when we're doing little games or, you know, extra kind of thing. Right.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to share your experience and to share a couple words of wisdom with us. Yeah, and thank you so much for the work that you do.
Thank you too for having me. I enjoyed.
Thanks.